Hello, everyone. Welcome to 2023 Leadership Lab. My name is Jamie Lee. I am an executive coach for smart women who hate office politics. I hated office politics when I worked inside companies too. I help them get promoted, get better paid without throwing anyone under the bus. Getting promoted means stepping into positions of greater leadership, right? And I often coach my clients on the challenges they face as a people leader, as a thought leader, and as a self leader. And today I am just going to open up. Consider this is like open house for coaching with Jamie Lee. You get to put your hand up. There is a button at the bottom of your Zoom interface that says raise hand. You'll be able to click that button. And when you do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to promote you to panelists so that you and I can have a coaching session, just as if you paid me. And because I'm going to treat everyone here as if you already paid me, I'm just going to give you the same spiel that I give all of my paid clients. Please do not be driving. Please do not be walking when you are getting coached. It makes me really nervous and nauseous. And also, I ask that you please be seated in a space that that is quiet and where you have strong Wi-Fi connection or Ethernet connection. If you and I connect, you put your hand up, I promote you to panelist, but if I can't hear you, right, and the connection is super choppy, I'm just going to say, okay, we'll come back to you, right? We'll just go on to the next person. And as you know, this call is being recorded. So if you can't stay for the full hour because you have another meeting or you have to go pick somebody up, I understand. I will send you the recording. And of course, if you like what you see and you want to find out what it's like to work with me one-on-one, come to calendly.com, Jamie Lee Consult to book your one-on-one totally free consultation with me. And I will support you in finding out how my custom strategies and tools that I offer my paid clients can help you achieve your career goals, your income growth goals, your confidence goals. Yeah. Okay. So with that said, let's talk a little bit about leadership. And then, like I said, you're going to be able to put your virtual hand up and I'm going to promote you to panelists so that I can coach you like you already paid me. I feel like Oprah today. Okay. So here, I just jot down some thoughts here. Oh, before I talk about leadership, I also want to let you know, some of you are familiar with me, some of you are brand new to me. So if you're brand new to me, I also want to let you know I have another totally free podcast, and it's available on all major platforms, Spotify, Apple, Google, and it's called Negotiate Your Career Growth. And the reason for that is because when I first started out, as a salary consultant helping professional women negotiate for higher pay. And sometimes I still do that. But really, what I really focus on is helping my clients generate the self-confidence by managing both their conscious minds and their unconscious minds so that they can advocate for the growth they want, advocate for the leadership they want, right? While feeling like genuinely good, genuinely like grounded and calm and poised and confident. So if you go to my podcast, Negotiate Your Career Growth, you'll also find, free tips, insights, scripts to help you advocate for yourself, advocate for the promotion and the pay raise or higher salary that you want. Okay, so all of my clients, I've noticed, have big hearts. They have big brains. They're smart women, and so are you. You came to this thing. You were resourceful. You found this free coaching session. You showed up on time. That is totally resourceful and in my world, excellent. But all of my clients, they are smart, they're big brain, they have big hearts, they have big desire to serve and to grow, to continue to grow their learning, themselves, right? Professionally and personally. And I want to demonstrate to you today exactly what it's like to work with me one-on-one in this group container, in this group setting, okay? And here's how to get the most out of this. Here's how to get the most out of this experience. Please try to think through. If you already know what you want to get coached on, amazing. But if you're not sure, try to get really specific, right? So that we can dive right into, so that I can dive right into helping you. And also, I'm going to be pausing and interrupting you because number one, we do have, I've set aside 1 hour for this. And if we need to go a little bit longer, I can, but I don't know if all of you can, right? So in the interest of time, I am going to pause and interrupt you. But there is also a second reason. The second reason is that often, like, there are circumstantial issues, right? Office politics does exist, bias, gender bias, racism, structural issues totally exist. The problems do exist. And often the story we tell, the narrative we tell about that circumstance exacerbates the problem state. Take, for example, I'm just going to give you an example from my own life. When I wake up, I'm like, oh, I'm so confused. Or like, I don't have the energy, right? And then if I keep telling myself, oh, I'm so confused, I don't have the energy, my brain is like a filtering machine. So it's going to find all of the evidence from my past and into my predicted future where I'm going to stay confused, where I'm going to stay having very little energy. And in that problem state, I am not as resourceful. I am not as resilient. I'm not as effective at arriving at my own solutions. And for that reason, in my coaching container, this is the first thing that I ask all of my clients when we start working together. I let them know, hey, I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm going to ask you personal questions, right? But also, I'm going to pause and I'm going to interrupt you, especially when the narrative that you are sharing, the narrative that you are repeating does not serve the end state, does not serve the result you actually want to have, that you actually want to create, the change that you want to create. Okay. So you've been warned. If I put my hands up like this, pause, please stop talking. Okay. And if you don't like that, you don't have to get coached. It's fine. Won't hurt my feelings. Okay. And the reason why I say this up front is because I also know I'm a woman of color. I've worked in, predominantly male and pale environments where people just talk right over you. And you're so annoyed with that. And you feel like, oh, if somebody else does that, I'm just gonna, right? I've been there. So I just wanted to make my intention as a coach, as a change worker, really clear so that you know why. Sometimes I'm going to put my hand up and say, okay, pause right there. Please stop. Okay. My intention isn't to be rude. My intention is to help you create new neural networks, new brain pathways for you to be able to create solutions, to have clarity, to have confidence as a leader in the workplace. Okay, so leadership. I think we have 3 big problems. Number 1, obviously, in the workplace, we still see predominantly male and pale leadership. And they don't always model the kind of leadership that genuinely resonates, that genuinely feels good, the kind of leadership that we want to emulate. And we also see in our society, in our culture, we have a habit of always just celebrating, always like putting on a pedestal these folks with outsized, these huge accomplishments, huge following, huge influence. And then we're like, I can't be like that. I'm not going to be Elon Musk. I'm not going to be Ariana Huffington. I don't want their schedule. I don't want their life. Yeah. And so another thing, the third problem is that so many of us have been taught and raised to be good girls. I went to a talk by Carolyn Buck Luce, and you could look her up. She is an extremely competent, extremely what's the right word? She has an amazing resume. She has an amazing track record. She used to be partner at Ernst & Young. She used to be a diplomat in Russia in the 70s. She now teaches women's leadership at Berkeley School of Business, and she has a new book out called Epic. I started reading it last night. It's great. Recommend it. And I attended her talk last week, and there were a whole room full of mid-career successful women, and she said, okay, everyone close your eyes and now put your hand up if you were raised to be good girls. And then she said, okay, everyone open your eyes. And we looked around. It was 90% of the room. Okay. And she said, okay, put your hands down. And notice how when you are raised to be a good girl, you're taught to leak your power. And I was like, oh, yeah, that resonates so much. We're taught to be good girls, and that conditioning holds us back from speaking up. It holds us back from advocating for our wins. It holds us back from tooting our own horns. It holds us back from saying no when we really want to say no. It holds us back from taking up space. It holds us back from feeling confident as a leader, as a thought leader, as a people leader. Yeah. And here is something that I have seen over and over again in my own coaching container. The error that so many smart, competent women make when they're in the influence of, number one, that patriarchal conditioning of seeing male leadership that doesn't resonate with us. Number two, thinking, oh, we have to be big, we have to be something we're not, we have to achieve something that's superhuman. And number three, when we are taught and raised to be good girls, and then we combine that with the thought, I need to be a good leader. And just notice how that combination of have to be a good leader brings up so much drama, stress, anxiety, nervousness, pressure. Yeah. And here are two big errors that I've seen over and over again. Okay. I've drawn this diagram to demonstrate how when we think we have to be good leaders, and that means we have to do it in a way that other people have done it, or we have to do it in a way that gets us liked, right? Then we start thinking, oh, in order for me to be able to be a good people leader, that means that I need to have no one doubt my decisions ever. Or you think, I need to have everyone in my team respect and like me. Yeah. In other words, what you unconsciously tell yourself is you need everyone else's validation. You need to be able to control, manipulate, or have everyone else behave in such a way that is beyond your control, really, in order for you to be able to see and to think of yourself as a leader. But just notice, these are ripples, these are waves, and I drew them in a specific direction for a reason, right? Because this is how it flows. When you are a great self-leader, then you know what to say, then you know how to behave, and it ripples out and it influences. And when you know what to say and you know how to behave as a leader who is congruent with how she is seeing herself, how she is talking to herself, how she is feeling inside, then that ripples out, creates a bigger wave of change that influences stakeholders, decision makers, direct reports, people you manage up, manage down, manage across, right? But I mean, that is the flow of influence. But when you think, I need them to never ever doubt my decisions, or I need them to like me, now we're going against that natural flow. And when we go against this natural flow, of course, we're exhausted. Of course, we feel like imposters. Of course, we encounter self-doubt. Of course, we're so frustrated. We're thinking about rage quitting. I know I'm not the only one. Yeah. And for me, in my career, when I worked in male-dominated workplaces like finance and startups, I also thought, in addition to having no one ever doubt my decisions, I also need to say it and do it just right, just perfectly. And I'm laughing because now I know, you know, all these organizations, they're just figuring it out themselves. They don't have the answers, right? Like doing it right, doing it perfect. You know, there are a lot of experts out there who will tell you, here's how to say it. And I'm guilty of having written some of those articles. But at the end of the day, sometimes true leadership, real effective leadership is not about doing it right. It's not about fitting yourself, squeezing yourself into a square peg when you're into a square hole when you're a round thing, right? It's not about being something you're not. It's about your willingness to take action in uncertainty. It's about your willingness to trust yourself and to choose your own opinion of you even before you have the evidence that you can. This is an act of faith. This is an act of courage. But that is what creates genuine leadership that inspires people. This type of self-leadership, this type of self-confidence is what generates true thought leadership, right? I made these and I forgot to put these up, right? Because the action of thought leadership is speaking, communicating, yeah? And when you are congruent with how you see yourself as a leader, or as a leader in the making, as somebody who's working to believe that you are a leader, yeah? And then that's what creates this wave, this powerful wave, the ripple effect, the influence, because you know, when you communicate from this place of being congruent, this place of having your own back, this place of being able to relate to you in a loving, compassionate, but also in this resilient way, that is how you communicate in a way that has people going, wow, she knows what she's talking about. Or I think I can trust her. Yeah, because you know that it's not always just about having the right words or saying the exact script. It's about how did you convey your thought? How did you communicate in a way that people, I guess I'm talking about, you're probably familiar with this, folks. You're probably familiar with how researchers have said people don't really remember what you have said. They remember about 11% of what you said, but they remember how you made them feel. And if you are bringing that self-trust, if you are bringing the conviction in your ideas and in your leadership, right, then that's what influences other people through your communication. That is what leads to really effective and powerful people leadership. It all starts with your willingness to choose yourself and to generate self-confidence from the inside out. Okay, so having said that, I know we're already 20 minutes into the hour, so I'm just gonna, who would like to get some coaching on any of this or any specific area around self-leadership, thought leadership, or how you communicate your ideas and influence people, and as well as people leadership? All right, Kendra, I'm going to promote you to panelist.
Here we go.
Here we go. Hi, Kendra.
Hi, I've never done this and it's not really like me to raise my hand. So here we go. Let's do it.
Let's
How
do
does it
it. All right. What would you like to change or improve about your leadership today?
Oh, okay. Well, I have been in my profession for about 20 years. I'm a vice president. I think that I would like to become a CEO. I hold myself back. I can't seem to figure out how to write a resume or how to take that next step to really put myself out there and make it a possibility.
Hmm.
And that's how I found you.
Okay. So tell me, when was the last time specifically, like you found yourself having difficulty with writing your resume?
About 2 weeks ago.
Okay. And I'm curious, why are you writing a resume?
A job was posted, a CEO position was posted somewhere, and I
Hmm.
thought I should just apply and see if I even get a phone call. I
Hmm.
need to update my resume, and
Yeah.
then it just spirals from there.
Okay. So take me back 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
Okay. Like, what did you see? What did you hear? What reminded you to go into this spiral?
What did I see? Well, I looked at my resume and
Yeah.
realized it's very focused on a VP level job, and if I want to be considered
Mm.
for a CEO, my things that I list need to be much
Mhm.
more broad. I need to get out of just my area
Mhm.
and show, that I'm able to think about all of the organization as a whole.
Mhm.
Um, do I have the language for that? What kind of data do I need to back it up? Who should I talk to make sure I'm using the right data?
So let's pause right there. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Make sure I get the right data.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
Meaningful data.
okay, meaningful data. So I love that you already have a really good idea of next steps. You already have a very concrete idea of here are the things that I can do to take
Mhm.
this forward,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And the challenge here, the challenge here for you is that you think you have to do it right.
To do it right, but then I also
Yeah.
have this other side saying, you probably aren't gonna be a CEO, and it's probably a bigger job than you think, and maybe you're not
Well,
ready
I'm
for
going to
that.
pause you right here,
Yeah.
right? Let's notice that
Mhm.
self-talk, that
Yeah.
you are this doubt.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So this doubt, I mean, would you agree that it is doubt you feel when you have this thought?
Oh,
I probably,
definitely.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
So
wanna fail.
got it. Got it. Okay. So I just want to offer that, some
Mhm.
of my mentors have offered me a definition that have really helped me see that like sometimes success is built in a pile of failures.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And sometimes this is another thing that I've heard that really liberated me about, thinking about success and failure is like sometimes you have to be willing to do it wrong a whole bunch of times so you know what is right for you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this doubt, if you and take me back to 2 weeks ago, were you home? Were you
I had just come back from vacation, and I was in my office
yeah.
pulling up my resume and taking a look at it.
Okay, so be there now
Mhm.
in your home office
Mhm.
and this doubt that you had been feeling. If you were to describe it and give it a shape or a color, what would it be?
Mm, maybe orange, just
Okay.
kind of orange and heavy. Yeah.
Orange and heavy. And this orange and heavy shape, where is it in your body?
Right, like, right in my core.
Right in your core. Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna ask you to um uh okay. I'm gonna ask you to practice this simple tool with me. So everyone else, you could also practice this tool on your own. Okay. So I'm gonna ask you to shift your seat so that you're not looking directly at me, but you're looking at a fixed focal point in your beautiful office.
Okay.
Yeah. And I want you to keep your eyes on that fixed focal point.
Mhm.
And now soften your gaze. And with your soft gaze, simply shift your awareness to the periphery of your vision. And notice what you notice. And sometimes when I do this with my clients, they tell me they start hearing ambient noise. They start to notice the feel of fabric against their skin. And any other sensory perception that comes to mind.
Do you want me to tell you?
No, you don't have to tell me.
Okay.
Just notice.
Okay.
Now, without moving your eyes, imagine that you can feel the energy of the space behind you. And notice what you notice there. Okay. You come back to me. What was that like for you?
Mm, It was a little bit relaxing,
Yeah.
but it was also I could feel like the space was big and pushing forward, like pushing forward.
Pushing forward. Yeah.
The space behind me, like pushing and lifting.
So fascinating. Maybe that's your unconscious mind.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So maybe that's your unconscious mind signaling to you that there's this desire to move forward. Yeah.
Mhm.
So how would you want to feel as you take the action steps that you clearly spelled out for me? Make a list of your accomplishments. Think about how they impacted the organization as a whole, right? And then there was one more. There's one more that you said, but like you had a very clear idea of how you can move yourself forward
Mhm.
in this application, this resume writing process. And so when you think about, perhaps just that one step forward, making a list, taking stock of your contributions, yeah, how would you want to feel?
I would want to feel that I have a lot of experiences to draw from, that I have a solid base of experience and understanding.
And of course you do. Yeah. And when
Do
you know,
I?
yeah,
After 20 years, I would hope so.
after 20 years and being VP, right? And I just met you, but I get the just this like intuitive hit that you're somebody who is super reliable. You always get things done.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Look at the photos
Perfectionist.
behind you, like the people who know that they can rely on you to get stuff done because you are reliable.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so when you know that you bring this wealth of experience, yeah, what would that do for you?
Well, it would give me more confidence, but I think it would also help me to be nicer to myself in a way that I can say, I know a lot of things. I don't have to know everything.
That's right. That's
I
absolutely
always think I have to know everything. And like you
right.
said earlier, everybody has to like me and agree with me, and that's just never going to happen.
Nope. Nope. Yeah. And so when you have this sense of confidence,
Mhm.
and when you said you'd be nicer to yourself,
Mhm.
yeah, what's that going to feel like? Like in your body, how would you know that you are feeling confident and that you're being nicer to yourself?
Mhm. In the times when I have purposely been more kind to myself and made
Yeah.
it clear that I can't possibly know everything, it's very liberating and
Yeah.
relaxing. And you can work with the people around you because everybody gets to contribute and you're not feeling so defensive.
That's right. And
Mm.
so feel this feeling of being liberated, this
Mhm.
relaxed feeling in your body right now.
Mhm.
Where is it in your body?
In my arms.
Yeah, in your arms. And you
Yeah.
see, everyone just notice when,
Mm.
yes, Kendra is demonstrating to
In
us.
my arms.
Yes, it's almost like your wings. So
Yeah.
So keep doing this with me because your unconscious mind also speaks
Mhm.
through your body. There is a part of you that knows, right?
Mhm.
Liberating, and I can feel relaxed because as a leader, it's not about me knowing everything. It's about
Mhm.
me willing to demonstrate that I trust myself. And when I trust myself, I trust other people to do their part. Yeah.
That's a good point. Mhm.
Yeah. So are you doing this with me?
Yes.
Okay. So as you do this with me and as you feel this feeling of liberation in your body, now see yourself writing that resume.
Okay.
Or maybe taking that one step forward and taking stock of your contributions.
Mhm.
Yeah. What do you notice now?
I think I have a more global idea, a bigger picture idea of the
Yes.
things that I can put on that list. Yeah.
100%, right?
Mhm.
Global list. That's what CEOs deal with.
Mhm.
Yeah. And as you see yourself, having that global idea. Did I hear you correctly? That's what you said?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that going to be like for you?
Well, in the resume writing process, I think
Yeah.
it would just make me more confident
Yeah.
and confirm my own conviction that I am qualified, and
Yes.
it's just whether or not I want to move on.
That's right. That's right. It's like you get to choose.
Mhm.
Yeah. And as you see yourself with having this choice, the option of deciding, I'm already qualified. Of course,
Mhm.
I am qualified. And that's because I'm qualified. I have this, option. I get to decide. Yeah. And when
Yeah.
you see yourself having this option,
Mhm.
what's that going to do for you?
Well, having the option is really exciting because
Yeah.
what if I decided that I really like where I am?
Yeah. You could.
Because my perfectionist mind says, well, you always have to be advancing. You can't just be
Mm.
happy where you are. You always have to be advancing.
Mm. But yeah, you maybe you could, yeah. And when you see yourself excited to know, like, yeah, I could also stay. So I've
Mhm.
got nothing to lose,
Right. I have nothing
right?
to lose.
So as you
That's true.
see yourself having nothing to lose, now see yourself taking the next step on this application process.
Mhm.
What do you see?
I see that I would write a really great cover letter and I'd have a solid resume and I would just send it out with confidence.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. And what's this going to do for you the next time you see another CEO opportunity and you're like, it's an option for me. It's an exciting option for me
Mhm.
because I know I'm qualified. What's that going to do for you?
I think it'll make the process easier and faster
Yeah, right. And
because
as you see,
I won't be waiting to get the right data. I'll just go.
right, you just go. You're like, what if I know enough? What if like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I have nothing to lose.
and you have got nothing to lose.
If I apply and no one calls me for an interview, I have lost nothing.
Yes. Yes. And maybe you've gained an opportunity to be like, well, I've got nothing to lose, but I can assess, I can evaluate. What
Mhm.
did I do that I think I did well? What do I want to do differently if I choose to do this one more time?
Great.
Yeah. And one more time, what's this going to do for you 6 months from now when you see that you have taken action, knowing that you're qualified, knowing that you've got nothing to lose, knowing that you have enough experience and knowledge? Yeah. And that you don't have to know it all. What's that going to do for you 6 months from now?
I think it will make me more bold in the position that I'm in now.
Mm,
Mhm.
yeah.
To do the things that I want to do without worrying that they might be wrong or that they might not get complete buy-in.
Right.
I think I would be more bold and confident.
Right. At the end of the day, right? Whether you become CEO, whether you stay, and, at the end of the day, isn't that what you want?
Mhm.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Anything else that we haven't yet addressed that you want to make sure we do?
I don't think so. I think I'm in the process right now. It's time for reviews. And so I think I found you because I'd like to ask for a pay raise.
Okay.
But ultimately, I would like to be a CEO someday.
Yeah. Why not? And something that I encourage all of my clients to think about is like, what if we can start seeing ourselves as the chief executive officer of our own career? Like we don't have
Okay.
to, right? It's like I am the CEO of my life. And often women are the CEO or the CEO of their households too.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. So I encourage you, if you want to continue this conversation, you're more than welcome to book a free consultation with me.
Okay.
And I think you've totally got this application.
Thank you. That was fun.
I'm so glad. All right. I'm going to put you back to panelist. All right. Who else would like some coaching? It can be about putting your hand up, going for a bigger role. It can be about your thought leadership. It could be about your self leadership. It could be about managing people, projects, processes. And I promise you, the more people volunteer to get coached, the more you get to learn fun, self-directed neuroplasticity tools, right? I just walk Kendra through this, the periphery vision. This is something that I do practice like every time I walk outside or whenever I have trouble sleeping. All you have to do is just keep your eyes fixed, soften your gaze, and then simply shift your awareness to the periphery of your vision. And my mentor, Melissa Tears, you could look her up. She's a great person who teaches all these really practical neuroscience tools to help people create change in their lives. And I'm rereading her book, Keeping the Brain in Mind. And she talks about how when we do this, when we simply shift to the periphery of our vision, what we do is we shut down that, I call it the itty bitty shitty committee, the voices of doubt, like, what do you think you are? And then just notice just quiets down a little, right? So you shift out your awareness or your attention, and then you shut down the itty bitty shitty committee. And then from there, just like I did with Kendra, ask yourself, how do I want to feel? How do I want to be? Okay. Who else would like some coaching? All you have to do is click on the button that says raise hand. And of course, in about 10 minutes, if you have any additional questions, you could also put them into the Q&A box and I will answer them live. Judith, I love it. I am going to promote you to panelist.
This is the danger of being an old teacher. I can't stand that classroom silence. Eventually, someone has to talk, right?
Well, thank you for putting your hand up. What would you like to be coached on?
I have been a C-suite person in my past, and I'm working on becoming more of a consultant, and I enjoy it a lot. But one of the things that I struggle with is the people who know I'm there to be a change agent and who, want to give me that, back up or stop right off the bat, and just establishing a rapport with them, getting their trust and sort of engaging them in a conversation rather than a battle, like right off the bat.
So tell me a little bit about the last time this battle happened.
Ooh, just sitting in a room with people who are considering whether or not to use my services, and their question, if a question comes at me that's phrased in a hostile manner, I've even heard, why should I listen to you? Which I think is a pretty combative question, right off the bat.
Okay. And so again, I'm just going to ask for very specifics. And the reason I'm asking you this question is because we know that people will have their thoughts and opinions about change work and about consultants, right? But you're here, right? You raise your hand because you want to have a different response. You want to be able to rise to the occasion, to rise to the challenge, right? In a way that allows you to be like, okay, I'm not even gonna let this ruffle my feathers, right?
Right.
From a calm place, I know how to respond. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
for that reason, I'm gonna ask you again, just like with Kendra, get really specific. Take me to the last time somebody asked you a question in this specific tone of voice. Was it a client meeting? Was it a Zoom meeting? Were you there in person? Where were you?
So it was an interview. It was a in person, so a couple years ago.
Okay.
And I can see the room very clearly. The gentleman is sitting on my left.
The gentleman sitting on your left, and this gentleman is the person who's making the comment.
Who said, "Why should I listen to you?" Yes.
Okay, all right. And you said that it was a hostile comment, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying it with a smile on my face and sort of pleasantly, but it was genuinely like, "Why
Mm.
should I listen to you?" With that sort of
Mm.
gesture and that face, that sort of body language. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you to sit up. And the reason why I'm asking you to sit up right now is because our physiology reflects our brain state. Yeah. And when we feel somebody, comes at us with a hostile statement, it's easy for us to be like, ooh, right? I'm speaking for myself, right? We're like, ooh, and then tense up and get small, right? It was almost like a defense. So I'm gonna ask you to sit up and now just shake your shoulders. This happened a couple years ago, right? But yeah, but now you have more experience, you're wiser, you're even more, better equipped to help people because of the experiences since then, right? And so if something like this were to happen again, if you're in that room and somebody says, "Why should we hire you?" Yeah? How would you want to feel in that moment?
That's a good question. I'm not sure how I'd want to feel. I know what I'd want to convey
Yeah,
is
tell
that
me what you want to convey.
what I want to convey is that I am genuinely invested in helping people, that I want
Okay.
to help them accomplish what they want to accomplish.
Yeah. And when you know that you genuinely are here to help this person and you're genuinely here to benefit other people, what's that like for you?
Oh, it's very the phrase that came to my head is soul filling, which is not something I would ever say, but it's very, it's my purpose. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
accomplishing my purpose in life.
Yeah. The soul filling, and when you know that your soul is filled because you're accomplishing your purpose in life, yeah? How would you describe that emotion?
Oh, happiness,
Yeah.
completeness, accomplishment, pride, all
Yeah.
of those things. Yeah.
Yeah. And where do you feel that in your body? The happiness, the pride, the sense of purpose, the accomplishment.
Oh, just like all the way up from the I teach dance, so I'm constantly doing this gesture, all the way up from the bottom of my feet to the top of my head. I just feel lighter and taller and happier.
Okay. So lighter, taller, and happier. As you feel this lighter, taller, and happier feeling right now. Yeah.
I
Let's
do.
take a quick look at that gentleman's face from a couple years ago. You're in that room and he's asking you this question. What do you notice now?
Oh, he's so cramped. He's so cramped and like sitting in on himself. He's so unhappy.
Mm,
Damn.
it's kind of funny, isn't it?
I guess it felt sad. It felt sad at the time. I felt sad for him, but yeah, it is kind of funny. It's just like a little cartoon character all squished in on himself.
Yeah. And if you were a cartoon character all squished in on himself, which cartoon character might he be?
Oh, I don't know. Some sort of a little pug dog, but a sad one. Pug dogs are
Okay,
never that sad.
okay. A sad pug dog. And now I want you to see a sad pug dog. Yeah. It's the little dog. It's a little dog that's cramped into a tiny space, kind of feeling cranky. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want you to see yourself getting taller, lighter, happier, right? In relation to that sad pug dog. Is there something that you want to extend, that you want to offer the sad little pug dog?
Oh, what can I do for that little pug dog?
Yeah.
Just like a little pet, some sort of an offering, just like maybe my hand so that he could sniff it, something like that.
Yeah. It's like, hey, it's okay. It's safe.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Reassurance.
Yeah. It's safe. And is there something that you want to send to your younger self who was in that room 2 years ago? Is there a resource? Is there an assurance? Is there a message? Something that you want to send to your younger self?
Maybe just a little sticky note that says patience.
Okay. So close your eyes and see your younger self
Mhm.
who had been in that room, receive the sticky note, and take it in. Yeah.
Take a breath.
Yeah. And when you see her take that in, and open your eyes and remind me, how do you want to be? How do you want to feel as you convey to people, hey, I'm here to help you. This is my soul-filling purpose. The work that I'm offering here is to benefit you. How would you want to feel as you do that?
I want to feel open to their concerns and their problems. I want to feel like they can trust me. I want to feel like they don't think that I'm there to boss them, but that I'm there to boost them.
Right, right. And when I teach self-advocacy, I often talk about curious, not furious. When people push back, how can we get curious? How can we get open about
Mm.
what their potential concerns may be? Yeah. And so tell me, when else in your life were you open, totally open to other people's concerns in a way that was just like genuinely curious?
Anytime I'm starting something new, that's kind of why I like consulting because I'm the door is open and I want to hear everything. I want to hear
Yeah.
anything and everything.
And this is something that you're really confident about, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So talk to me about the last time, just so we know that you know what it's like to be open, totally open like that.
Um, yeah, just starting the last long-term contract that I was on.
Mhm.
Um, my calendar's completely open. That's a delightful feeling.
All right.
And
So as you feel this delightful
everybody's
feeling,
coming in. Yeah.
yeah, delightful feeling, this opportunity, the possibilities are open, right? Now see yourself responding to that gentleman from a couple years ago.
Yeah. That would be a different situation. Just like even physically approaching someone and being able to meet them halfway rather than like being sitting across around this table where everybody's in their little spot.
Mm,
You know, if I'd had a way to physically reach
mm,
across to him and say,
mm.
tell me more about that. You know, I'd like to
Yeah,
hear what made you think that.
that's right. Tell me more. Exactly. I mean, this is the job of a consultant. I've been a consultant for many years myself. I know it's like consult. You want to get curious. You want to like, okay, you have a concern. Tell me more. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would have to feel as empowered and as secure as I feel, you know, in a moment when I've been engaged and I know that I'm authorized almost
Mm-hmm.
to dive in and do things, which is
Mm-hmm.
different from that moment of, I don't know, I guess feeling judged
Mm.
at that interview moment or that first connection moment.
Yeah. But I think of it this way. People will always judge.
Right,
And
right.
often the judgments they have about other people reflect their own judgments about themselves and their own fears and worries and insecurities, right? And sometimes other people's judgments about you aren't even personal, right? But tell me a little bit more about feeling this empowered, this secure, right?
The moment I'm picturing is a place where I was like in a space that had been
Yeah.
assigned to me. So I had like my own physical location. I had a title on the door. I
Mm,
had, uh, I mean, really just that feeling of being authorized to be the person who could do whatever. And then from there, the sky's the limit. You can
mm,
take that in any direction you want. But to have an entree, to have somebody higher up say, this person has been hired, this person
mhm.
is here to do something, and then other people treat you differently.
Yeah, so you were authorized, but how you saw yourself was also congruent with the way that, the situation. You're like, yes, I am empowered. I am authorized. I have authority here in that space.
Yes.
Yeah. And so when you were in that space, that feeling of being empowered and secure, grounded, yeah, where is that now in your body?
Oh, I don't think I have that feeling. Maybe floating around the top of my head, sort of
Hmm.
feeling like, I don't know. Thinking about that, I can just picture myself in that space and thinking how sort of secure it was, you know?
Hmm.
That seems really weird, but like n- being surrounded by walls that were my walls is more empowering or more secure than having no walls.
Well, I'm just noticing right now that you are surrounded by your walls.
Yes.
Right now, in this moment, you are surrounded by your walls. So just notice that
Yeah.
and feel into that. These are walls that you have chosen for yourself. And in this space, you get to feel empowered and secure and grounded because you have authority in your life in this space that you chose for yourself right now.
Yeah, I like that thought.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's happening? What's happening? Is the thing moving?
Oh, my back just totally relaxed.
Your back just totally relaxed. Okay. Yeah. So feel into that. And as you feel into that, you know, imagine yourself getting even more grounded where you are. This is another tool that I want to offer you and everyone else. Sometimes when you want to feel grounded, what I like to do is I like to put my feet flat on the floor and then imagine that roots are growing out of them,
Mm.
grounding me exactly where I am. I'm supported right now in this space that I chose, surrounded by walls that are mine. What's coming up for you now?
I love that feeling. It does feel like a little happy cave of mindness.
Yeah. As you feel this happy cave of mindness right now, let's just revisit that guy from a couple years ago, just one more, just for kicks. When you see that guy in his, that cramped space that he was in, what do you notice?
Um, he's on the edge of my space rather than me being in his space.
That's right. That's right. And as you notice that you are grounded in your own space and you bring your space, you bring your groundedness with you because your body is your space. Wherever you go, there you are. Yeah. The next time somebody asks you a question, why should we hire you? What do you notice you will do?
I want to feel grounded and protected and then reach out and say, tell me more about that. What should we be talking about in order to get into that question? Because that's the heart of it. why should you be listening to me? What can I do for you?
Yeah. Yeah. And you lead with that open curiosity, right? And as opposed to defensiveness. What do you notice will open up for you?
I hope it would build a bridge. And I think
Yeah.
that if the bridge is starting from this side, then, if it's the right fit, the bridge will come from the other side as well.
That's right. Sometimes in a consulting engagement, you like want to make sure this is a good fit, and sometimes it isn't.
Right.
And the kind of questions you will ask ensure that it could be. Right. So as you see yourself taking from this grounded place, building, offering the bridge, and see if they're willing to, do their part. Yeah. What do you
Right.
see this will do for you next time?
Oh, I think just give me something to think about in a sort of an approach rather than just a reactive freeze, where everything just stops because I'm not quite sure what the next thought even should be.
Right. And what's that going to do for you 6 months from now as you leave from this place of being grounded? As
Well,
you leave
hopefully
from,
just a lot more connections, right? More
yeah,
connections and less like stops.
yeah.
'Cause those stops are what make me nervous, is that, if it just stops, then it stops and it needs to get past that. It needs to get to the next step.
Okay. Yeah. So I see you making more offers. I see you, building, offering that bridge with that
Yeah,
curiosity. Tell me more. What's going on? So yeah, let us have a conversation about why you should hire me. If I were you, I would also ask them, let's talk about how I did end up here. If it
that's
was
what
your invitation, I'd be like, okay, what made you invite me here?
right,
Yeah.
right. That's a great question. I love that.
Yeah. What is your challenge? Why work with a consultant now? Probably because you want greater change. You want to have bigger results that you can't create without the help of a consultant. And that's why I'm here. We're here to find out if there is a fit. So are you
Yeah,
willing to have that conversation? Yeah.
absolutely. I thought you're asking me. It's like, oh, yeah, I want to ask them if they're willing to have that conversation. Like, let's
There
have
you
that
go.
conversation. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Do you feel complete with this?
I love it. Yes, I think that's super useful, and I can even imagine like all of the ways I can sort
Yeah.
of bring this thought process to bear. Absolutely.
Awesome. Awesome. Great coaching. Thank you so much for volunteering, putting your hand up, Judith. And again, if anyone else wants to experience what it's like to work with me one-on-one, calendly.com, Jamie Lee consult. And if you don't see a time that works for you, just email me. We'll make it work. Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to put you back
Thank
to
you.
attendee. I know we have literally 1 minute. So if anyone has questions they want to put in the Q&A box, or if you want to get coached, we still have time. We can see if we can make it really quick. Otherwise, I invite you to check out my podcast, Negotiate Your Career Growth. And also, if you would like to find out what it's like to work with a coach one-on-one and see the impact it can have on your confidence, clarity, leadership strategy, communication strategy, career strategy, and the impact that it can have on your income, your life satisfaction, your fulfillment, I invite you to book your free one-on-one consultation with me. The link is calendly.com/JamieLee/consult. And I look forward to speaking with you very soon. Thank you everyone for showing up live. I really appreciate everyone for your attention, and practice that tool of the peripheral vision, okay? See how that can help you reduce the anxiety, reduce the, the chatter of the itty bitty shitty committee, and ask yourself, how do I want to be as a leader? How do I want to feel? And how do I want to lead from that? Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Talk soon.